And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is giving an update now on the impact of Hurricane Helene. Let's listen.
Good morning. We're back at the State Emergency Operations Center here in Tallahassee. I'm joined with Kevin Guthrie, our Florida DEM Executive Director, as well as Jared Perdue, our Florida Department of Transportation Secretary, and Major General John Haas, the Adjutant General of the Florida National Guard. As you know, Hurricane Helene made landfall last night as a Category 4 hurricane at Deckle Beach in Taylor County. Maximum sustained winds were 140 miles per hour. It made landfall moving 23 miles per hour. We saw storm surges in many parts of the west coast of Florida that exceeded what we saw in Hurricane Idalia, which took a similar track. It was similar strength, maybe a little bit weaker, but you were seeing significantly more storm surge in places like Tampa Bay. We also saw major storm surge, of course, in the Big Bend region. We did report that there was a traffic fatality last night. We also this morning can report that there's been another fatality reported in Dixie County due to a tree falling on the home during the storm. Overnight, as soon as it was safe to do, and even in many cases probably wasn't perfectly safe to do, search and rescue operations were conducted to help people that were in distress and transport them to safety. These missions continue, but we've had thousands of missions successfully completed in the overnight hours throughout the state. This is our local first responders. This is local in conjunction with state assets and state assets directly going in and effectuating rescues, and that's the National Guard, that's Florida Fish and Wildlife, that's all the assets we had available to help support these rescue efforts. And all the calls that any state officials responded to last night, we were able to find the person or people and pets and bring them to safety. And so that's a contrast from some of the things that we saw, for example, at Hurricane Ian. Now it's still early. They're going to have those folks who were responding to those calls. They're going to be doing broader search and rescue in those areas that did get hit with significant storm surge and see if there's any other problems or if there's any folks that are still left behind. But as of now, we don't have reports of that. And so those missions were successful, and those missions saved a lot of lives. So I want to thank all the first responders, our folks working for the sheriff's departments, fire rescue, of course, all our state assets. Everyone was ready to go, and it made a big difference for what was a really historic storm surge in different parts of the state. We have currently, as of 6 a.m., 1.24 million accounts without power throughout the state of Florida. Since the storm has begun, there have been 1.16 million accounts that have already been restored. As of 6 a.m., we have 382,000 accounts for Duke, 284,000 for the co-ops, 253,000 for the munis, 233,000 for FPL, 77,000 for TICO, and 11,000 for FPU. So those restoration efforts are underway. They've been going on the entire time as people have lost power, and so I think you're going to see some progress on that throughout today. As of now, we have a number of severely impacted counties with over 30% of the power out. Alachua 55% out, Baker 86%, Bradford 65% out, Citrus 34% out, Clay 33% out, Columbia 99% out, Dixie 92%, Gilchrist 87%, Hamilton 99%, Jefferson 83%, Lafayette 81%, Leon 44%, Levy 83%, Liberty 33%, Madison 99%, Nassau 57%, Pinellas 41%, Polk 33%, Suwannee 99%, Taylor 99%, Union 86%, Wakulla 82%. And you notice those 99% counties are generally the counties that were in the immediate path of the storm. We had rescue operations going on like Southwest Florida, where the storm was 100, 150, 200 miles off the coast and yet still generated major storm surge. And that was really the story up the whole Florida peninsula. But then as you got into landfall, where you had those Category 4 winds,